Our speaker is DC. My name is DC and I'm alcoholic. Thank you, Quinn, for asking me to speak. Um, my sobriety date is January 15th, 2006. That was Martin Luther King's birthday. He had a dream, I had a hangover. That's just how it was. I woke up with one. And so his birthday comes every 5 years. So I get to celebrate my sobriety birthday on his birthday too. So now I have exactly a little over 8 years and 9 months. And and I'm grateful for me to be even to be that long. This is my second time around. The first time I have two dates. The first one was July 1st, 2002, and I decided to change that. Um, I did not know how to live life on life terms in the middle. I had seven commitments, 7 days a week. I was of service. I was doing everything, and my life just looked like it was falling apart. I was getting ready to look at. I was in a homeless shelter staying, and they was getting ready to put me out of there to be homeless on the street. Um, I was begging for this job to keep calling just in time. It wouldn't come. I did call my sponsor before I decided to go out. I did. Called him up and I told him what was going on. Um, he said, "Well, you know what? You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and everything, and that's just how life happens." I said, the wrong answer. No, because I believe that if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, there should be nothing be going wrong. If you tell me I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, something I'm not doing. So I decided to go back out. And I was sober when I did it. There was nobody pushing me and doing this and all that there. I just hung the phone up. I left everything I owned and I went back downtown. Um, the man that's standing before you, I'm the man that lived on Skid Row for almost 30 years. I lived in the trenches or the bottoms of Skid Row. I've watched downtown change through the decades from 69 all the way up until the millennium era. I've been down there and watched buildings fall, show up, come up, down. I done it all. And I'm grateful for being downtown for that longer period. I'm one of them kids where I was in a family that was not mine. I was not blood related to them whatsoever. I was born in Mansfield, Ohio in 1963, and during that time there was a really bad snowstorm in Ohio, a really bad one. There was a woman who was sick in bed at 5'4" who lived 5 miles down the lane. She had just had a child, and two of her kids, she had two kids. One died in the well, and she had a stillborn. Her only wish was that she could just have one more child. She knew my mother. She knew my mother had a child, and she decided she would come down in that snow. Now, the snow drifts in Ohio, and anybody who's back east know that the snow drifts can get really high. If you live in one of them old country 5-story houses, you know the snow drifts will pile all the way up there. You can't even get out the door. That woman walked through that snow all the way down to my mama's house and seen me. Well, I was found behind the headboard of a four-poster bed with a bottle squeezed between the wall and that headposter bed. When that woman left there, she left with me. She told my mother, "Do not come to my house in 6 months talking about you want to come see the baby and that you want it back, because if you do, I'll kill you on the porch." My mama came back in 6 months. The woman who got me had a Smith and Wesson. She said, "Didn't I just told you not to come back here in 6 months to try to get this baby." This was a woman who had enough compassion in her heart that that's all she wanted was a child. Her only thing was that she wanted to raise a child that the way she was raised. And and so the journey began. The man she was with was a womanizer and all that there. What happened is that they never thought that this woman was going to love this baby that she didn't have so much that it would interfere with everything else. She surprised everybody. So this whole time I'm in a family that only tolerated me. They never loved me. They never wanted me, and they let me know that as time went on. Um, and so my story is a little bit. It's just like Oprah. She always. You remember when she was in Permanent? She said, "All my life I've had to fight." You know what I mean? And I'm one of them kids. I'm one of them children that all my life I had to fight. I had to fight in school. I used to take ass whoopings and torture and all that there to save the woman who came and saved me in that snowstorm and saved my ass. I didn't find that out until the day before she died when we both discovered that we had been doing that for the longest for each other. I'm taking these ass whoopings because he said, I'm going to kill her. I took it because I knew at 7 years old, I knew that was my saving grace. She did the same thing. We were both doing the same thing, back and forth. Um, to get a little further, teens came, this and that. The husband that she had, that they came from, from Ohio and came to California and all that there, and things just kind of got worse. Except at 7 years old, something happened. You see, I was thinking that the woman who had me was my real mother all the time. It wasn't until her no good, rotten ass sister decided to tell me one day that that is not your mama. I'm not really your auntie. And your mama lived in Ohio. And the only reason she got you because she couldn't have no more. So when my mother came home from work, I was sitting at the top of the stairs and I said, Auntie said, you ain't my mama. Tell me that that's not true. And I heard my mama say that no good, rotten ass bitch. I'm going to kill her when I get her this school. At 7 years old, I knew the truth. At 7 years old, you know what? It didn't even matter. I knew in here. And then an old woman down the street used to sit on a porch, told me one day, she said, you don't need to be carried in somebody's stomach for 9 months for you to be family. And you don't have to be from someone's stomach to all to be loved. You know her as your mama, that's still your mama. For the 9 months she didn't carry you, she saved your life for the first 9 months of you being born. Same difference. And I grew up like that. Everybody wanted me dead. I was supposed to be the one that died. I'm the only one living out of 2 generations of family. I'm still walking on top. Everybody dead. But I'm the one. They tried to do everything they could to get rid of me, and I'm still standing here. My mother died Labor Day, 1983. And that's when my alcoholism and everything began on that day. I can remember it as if it was yesterday. It was exactly 12:15 on a Sunday afternoon. The sky was blue. There were clouds. It was 85 degrees. And when I left out of the hospital, walked down them steps, when I hit the last step, everything went black. See, I didn't have blackout as a drinker. I didn't. I lived a blackout. For 30-some years, I lived a blackout. The family that I was in and everything, I had to fight them tooth and nail. They stripped me of everything that woman had ever gave me, but they couldn't take it from here. You know what my gift was? My mama was in ICU, and I was working at County Hospital. I was working on the 7th floor, so I got to came down every day and seen her. I'm the only one that seen her the day before she died. And on the day that she died, they was all had cars when the doctor called. Nobody moved. I had to run like hell from Los Angeles all the way downtown. And when I got there, they were just pulling the sheet overhead. But I was okay, though. I did what I had to do, and she told me what she wanted to tell me. But that's not a reason to run and drink. That's part of it, though. I lost my good luck charm now. So nothing else really mattered. The holidays, nothing mattered. So What happened was I ended up on Skid Row. I came out on Skid Row. Them queens down there wasn't having it. You know, trying to be pretend gay. Girl, come on in here. I was raised by drag queens on the street. They learned how to hustle. They say, we like you because you know how to fight. See, I already knew how to fight. I wouldn't fall that jaw jacket. So I know how to do all that. I'm a survivor and I'm an industrial man. Um, so I go to prison. I do the prison thing a lot. I've been to every prison from the Oregon border all the way down to San Diego. Behind drugs and alcohol and robberies and this and that. And I'm still here. So I get in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I come in, I don't stay. But when I come back, I do. I got a wake up call. See, I'm a good hustler on the street. When a good hustler lose something, they don't care because they're a good hustler. So they go back out and they hustle something way better than what they lost and twice as much. But when you start losing limbs, like that book said, like men who have lost their legs, they don't grow new ones. I've been waiting for this bitch to grow back since October 25, and she still ain't come back yet. So I got the picture. You know what I'm saying? She ain't grown back yet. And I lost that. And I had never lost nothing in all the 30 years I was on Skid Row. And then I go back on the relapse and I start losing fingers. You know? But when I came back, I was done. This is how I get back to the room. I'm in a tent. I got an 8-ball of crack already cut up, and I got a 5th of Jack Daniels, my 2 favorite things. I love them to death. And every time I got ready to take a hit, my heart would hurt. I had my first blackout ever. I never got a chance to smoke or drink. Man come and shook the tent and woke me up and everything, told me to come up out of there. The first thing he said out of his mouth was, I think it's time for you to go home. He said, but you know I got to take you to jail first. But I'm going to get you home. When you lived on Skid Row as long as I have and the smokers tell you you ain't one of us, something is wrong. They say you ain't one of us. I don't know what them people did to you in the valley, but you ain't one of us anymore because you left. And then one smoker said, but I need you there in case I might need somewhere to come. I know where you at. The man who arrested me had 15 years in the program. My public defender had 9 years in the Women's Pacific Group. The judge got 33 years on the bunch. That's how I got back to these rooms. I go to the Van Ness house. I only stay there 4 days. When I get to the Van Ness house, I'm not really feeling well. My temperature is 102. I go in, I get a couple pills, I come and sit in a group. A guy named Patrick and all of them sitting up in there, and I'm not really feeling it. And they're trying to comfort me. And I done told them I don't feel well. But they just kept pushing the issue. So when I jumped off the couch and grabbed the man and pushed him up in the motherfucking fireplace up in the living room, they said, oh, we don't think you're ready for this program. I said, I don't think I am either. They said, you can go upstairs and pack your shit. I said, I don't mind that. Let me tell you what I did. I packed my shit up. When you come out to Van Ness house, you come down right before you get to the sidewalk. I don't know what made me do it. I dropped the bag and I got right there on that line on that knees and I kissed that dirty ass ground and I said, I'm going to stay sober in spite of these motherfuckers. And I'm going to make sure. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get that ass. And then something said, if you stay sober, you'll be the one. I said, I know what I'll do. I'll make these motherfuckers give me a cake every year I'm sober. For 8 years, I did it. The very same thing. My experience in Alcoholics Anonymous has changed. You heard me say I stayed on Skid Row for almost 30 years. I went back to school. I went back to school, I went back to college, and I graduated from there, and I became a medical optician. I went back, I did another project at LMU, my old alumni, and I'm sitting in a lecture hall that I used to get lectures in, and I'm giving them in sobriety. The first time I ever had my own apartment, I hadn't had it now for almost 6 years. Let me tell you something about that apartment, people. When it came down to sign that lease, my hand shook so bad like I had DTs. I had a hard time trying to sell it. My friend had to hold my hand and say, "Child, it's just a lease." See? Because if there had been a waiver, come on, man, I'm ready to go. See, I'm good at signing waivers. When they say waive your right, man, look, I'm tired. Just get me to the cell. Here you go. I'm nervous because I cannot believe that I'm signing something that says I have a right. These are your rights to this and this and this and this and this. That you earn this and you have a right to be taken care of and secure in your home. It took me 3 months to unpack my stuff in that apartment. My sponsor had to come by there and say, "Why do you still have this shit packed up? You're not going nowhere." See, I was good at going. I didn't pack everything. You say get up and go, I'm gone. In sobriety, I've learned many things about me and where I come from. Here's something that you will hear me say all the time. I do not regret being downtown, and I will always go downtown. Whenever something runs, if I don't pick up and use, I will run straight downtown. I know it. I will not edge that. My story is not that I need to give up everything and everyone to be sober. Because if I did that, I could not sit in these rooms. I can't. I don't know about you, but I can't. See, because them skills and stuff that I learned on the street, they served me a lot of purpose up in these rooms, honey. Now, if y'all all seen that movie, The Transformers, there's a whole lot of Decepticons that sit up in these rooms, honey. Not everything that's shiny and bright wants to be sober like you. If you're from the country, you know why you always clean that garden out, because the weeds will choke your shit and you can't grow. You got to be careful with them snakes, too. Not all snakes slide on their stomach, because a whole lot of them walk on 2 legs. They say cease fighting anything and everyone. I can't agree with that. That's not my story. See, because I have a disease in my brain. I had to fight that motherfucker every day. Sometimes I have to fight her at 1 minute of a day. I can't stop fighting. But I have a higher power who will help me do that. But I can't stop fighting. That's another thing I like to tell you. That you got to be careful with we. I use I a lot. I come before anything. I come before you. I have to use I first. See, because I got to get to a point where I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got to be the one that will make my feet move to try to go somewhere to get help. I got to ask for the help. I got to walk my black ass across that threshold to you people. Then I'm we. I didn't come into a group of we, but even with the we, it's still I. Because we don't go out. I go out. I don't call my sponsor. I don't work the steps. I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not being a servant. And the only person I can blame is me. Me is still singular for all you English majors. Me is still English. Me. I have a higher power that will not allow me to be of service to anybody in the room unless I'm being of service to myself first. If I am starting to neglect me, my higher power will stop whatever I want to do or think I want to do to help you. Will not allow me to do it. That's why I got to come first. That's why you always say, you got to be willing to save your ass and not your face. You got to be. For 8 years and 9 months, I've been willing to save my ass and not my face. And I got the perfect thing that I could go out on right now. I got the perfect thing to leave all you people, these rooms, fuck these steps, and everything else. September 29th, 2014 at 5:30 p.m., I got diagnosed with cancer. A fast-spreading cancer that I had since May, that I had been lied to and told to that you didn't have it. There ain't nothing wrong with you. And as a result of that, that's what it was. Now, my whole world got hit with that. You see, this is the questions that you ask yourself if you're new and something happens in your life. Is it happening to me or is it happening for me? The answer to both of them questions is yes. It's happening to me because I'm the one that's carrying it. It's happening for me because it allows me to use my program in these steps and how do I really do my alcoholism and how I interact with that. That's why it's happening for me. It lets me know that I have a program. It lets me know that all the way up until this point, everything I have done, I can pull on that out of my bank and make a withdrawal. And I've had to almost close that account out, but it's an everlasting account. I can never withdraw all of it. I still suit up and show up. I've not missed one beat. I suit up and show up for my commitments. I suit up and show up when I go to meetings. My feet does what my mind will not. I've been in here long enough. I'm stuck. I'm grateful to be stuck. I'm grateful that I get to be around people and watch people who have went through it. I have go-to people. I'm going to people who have already experienced having cancer and chemo and all that. I ask them, what do I do with this, not this? My main focus is to try to keep this intact. Because I got a disease, that bitch is trying to, for 8 years, have been trying to come for my crown. And now this cancer done come up in here and they done become joined further. And now this bitch is trying to come for my crown too. It took me 30 years to get that motherfucking crown, and I've earned every motherfucking stone up in there. And I am not about to just lay down and pull it off and say, well, here you bitches go, because you still done won. So I have to tell them, you'll have to do a lot better. You got to bring it. You got to bring it 100. They told me that I would not see January 2015 at a Surgeons Council meeting. I jumped up in the meeting. I said, my higher power has not told me that. He said, well, our findings and everything. I said, I'm sure they're accurate. I have no doubt in your profession about how they is. But you don't get to give me no expiration date. I ain't no motherfucking carton of milk. Well, if you don't get these spaces, I said, that's the whole word right there. If. But I got a program that I know what to do, and I got something that says I'm going to get them tests. But you don't get to tell me and throw my head went all the way back into the 80s. I got to get my affairs in order. What's going to happen to my puppy? I got to sell all of this here. What about my post-sponsor up in Oakland? How am I going to do that? I got to see all these people. The disease is working overtime. That bitch told me, what can them people do for you now? You done done all these things for 8 years. Now you're getting ready to die again. Can them people help you do that? See, the disease say we too. Oh, come on, we can go on down here and take a little hit. We can do a little chip. Bitch, I ain't never chipped nothing in my motherfucking life. I ain't never chipped my tooth. They just fell out. So I ain't never chipped nothing about it there. No, we can't do nothing because every time we do something, I'm the motherfucker that always end up with the consequences. I can do that sober too. And that's why it's so important, people, when you come in here. If you come in that room and you're sitting in that chair, you are actually saving your ass right now. And you don't need to have 10 and 15 and 42 years and all that there. You might have to save it an hour at a time. I do not have a fucked up life. Well, let's get that straight too. See, my life is not fucked up. See, I still got roof and I still got food and my puppy is happy and she got fat belly. I am still sober. I still have a program. I am still loved by many. I still be a servant. My life is not fucked up. There is a circumstances that is going on in my life that is fucked up. I cannot take that and mix it in with a life that has nothing to do with it. How I'm handling my alcoholism with this situation is what I was taught with these steps and my sponsor and all of you people. That's why I had to keep my garden clean. I had to make sure every weed is pulled out of it because I don't want nothing to choke my growth. Here's another thing. Just because you're a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous don't mean that you got to kiss somebody's ass to get along with them. I don't know where they got that from, but I ain't. That ain't my story. I ain't got to kiss your ass to get along with you just because I'm a sober member. And I ain't obligated to do a goddamn thing for you in Alcoholics Anonymous because I'm sober too. Because that blue book, if you read it, it'll tell you that. If you ain't worth fucking with, leave you alone. It says that in the book. If you're not willing to help save your own ass, then why should I be willing to help save you? I can only save me. I'm the only one that need to be willing. I need to be willing to take directions, follow directions, suggestions, everything. Here's another thing. People, if you're new, do not ask your sponsor for directions, and then when he give it to you, you don't do it. What the fuck are you asking for? It's like asking your higher power, can you please give me an answer and everything, and not listening. Then when he tell you, you do something opposite anyway. There's a difference in Alcoholics Anonymous between hearing and listening. See, if I'm hearing you, it's going right through. If I'm listening, I'm taking an action. That's what in my experience has been in Alcoholics Anonymous. Love and tolerance. Gotta tell you about that one. Everything got a limit. Listen, everything has a limit. I don't care. Listen, I don't care what they. We are some of the biggest manipulators in the world. And you'll get some people that will come up in here and will manipulate some of the sayings and everything. Well, I'm a newcomer. You supposed to, that's a dumb word, but suppose. I ain't supposed to do nothing but save my ass and stop saving my face. That's what I'm supposed to do. See, because if I reach my hand too many times, you're going to bite it. So now I got to get a long handle spoon. See, because I know that door right there that you keep saying, they keep saying, keep coming back. If you abuse that saying, this is what will happen. A higher power will bring you back in this room with your disease in full-fledged, have you sit in that motherfucking chair, and nothing will happen for you. Nothing. No warm welcomes, no handshakes, no nothing. If you're a human being like me, you'll get tired of a motherfucker keep doing the same thing, and you already know they ain't going to do it. If you're going to do something, bring me 6 months. Bring me a year. But to come in here and try to work the room and try to get some money and everything like this and all that there, no. See, a higher power will stop you. Here's another thing. Please don't get it all the time that if once you leave and you keep coming back that you're going to come back the same way. That's a lie. I know some of them went out there and went out. They ain't come back the same way they went. They went out here walking now in chairs. Some men come back with no legs. Some of them come back with a bad stroke. Some of them that ain't never had a mental problem come back shit crazy. They didn't have it. Every time you go out there, it gets worse. Every time. I'm grateful to be in Alcoholics Anonymous. I thought I never said that. Looking at Craig, I swear to God, it just seemed like yesterday he was taking a cake for 18 years when we was at Florida. This is what I do, people. This right here, this lump, this cancer in my neck allows me to be up here, stand at this podium, and be an example of what Alcoholics Anonymous has given me. It has learned me to suit up and show up despite what is going on in my life. It allows me to always tell my truth to you. It's always allowed me to take whatever's in here to put out here to you. It has allowed me to find out the people that I need to find out things from who can help me stay in this world a lot more longer. I save my ass up. I'm still willing to save my ass and not my face, despite what's going on here. Because I'm connected here. And until I hear anything different from that, then I will continue to do what I need to do. I have to tell you, some days are better than others. Right now, this is really going through it. It ain't so much as the disease, it's just the whole concept of what this brings. I don't feel like I'm unique. Every day, every morning, somebody's waking up with something. Cancer, diabetes, something. So I'm not unique in it. What makes me different is how I handle the news of what's going on. Do I actually let the alcoholism invade? Do I actually tell my disease, you are in full control? Do I let it tell me real from false? Because it's always false. But I got a disease that will take real life circumstances and use them against me. It will say, well, you got cancer. That is a truth. The disease don't always lie. It will tell you the truth. It will use whatever's going on in your life right there in front of you. There's nothing wrong with verbally putting it out there and talking back. You're not crazy. You just letting your disease know, I am aware of the bullshit that you're trying to tell me. Yeah, I got cancer, but not even you know I'm going to die. If I die, people, it's because I did it. It's because I decided to lay down and throw in the towel. If I can live on Skid Row in the 80s, on the streets and alleys and dumpsters and fireplaces and all kind of shit like that there, I can live with this cancer. In fact, I can live through anything. I lived through the death of getting hit by a car and my puppy getting killed. I lived through that. I lived through the death of other people. I lived through that. If you're new, remember, you always got to be saving your ass and not your face. And it ain't hard to do because if you was like me on the street, you were always doing it anyway. And you always thought of you before anybody else. I got to get these drugs on time. I got to get this thing. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get this hustle going on. I can't get in there. I got to watch this bitch over here. Don't get in my shit. I got to. Huh? If I don't take care of me and try to do something for you, I'm bringing harm. See, because I'm bringing bullshit from me and I'm telling you, if I stand up here and I don't tell you my truth and tell you bullshit, somebody who's in here that's new is going to, that's exactly what they're going to be receiving is bullshit. That's why I'm willing to save my ass and not my face. I've been saving my face for 30 years. I'm tired. I've gotten more out of 8 years and 9 months than I did in 30 years on Skid Row. I've become an adult gay man who can handle life on life terms, accept it, whether I like it or not, but accept it and move forward. I don't get to stop my life just because I have this circumstance. I get to take this circumstances and help another alcoholic or addict somewhere. Because there's going to be someone else who comes up with a lump. And I will be there to be the go-to person. And I am the example to show this is how you do it. This is how I did it. You've seen how I did it. Sit down with them. That's the whole purpose of doing all of this right here. I'm just one man. But one man can make a difference. Everybody in here that's sober right now, one man made a difference in your life, and that's why you're still sitting in this chair. And if one man can make a difference, look how many men it is in here now. And women too. Y'all not excluded. One man, one woman. Don't make no difference. We're all doing the same thing right here, right now, in this moment. In this moment, I am alive. In this moment, I am doing fine. In this very moment where I stand. I'll deal with the rest as I cross them bridges when I get to them. You will do the same. Then we will do the same. My name is DC and I'm an alcoholic.